Okay, I'll welcome everybody to our meeting Tuesday, January 3rd, and just said it's 6:30 somewhere. So I'll ask first of all if there's any disclosure of pecuniary interest, and seeing none, we'll go on to number 2, which would be committee reports. And again, we're awfully new in the year of the term, but I'll ask again if we have had any committee reports. Councillor Yem. Okay. Councillor Wood.
No.
Councillor Kirk.
No, at library it would be January 23rd, and source water will be January 25th, and I have to schedule a training course beforehand.
Good luck with that. No problem. Councillor Butler. Okay. As promised last time, I do have an East Home update from December 21st. We had no funding updates. Still having trouble sourcing cameras. One thing that the township may be interested in, computer equipment has been deployed, but they may need to partner with the township because of licensing fees. Really, because they can't. There's stuff in the paperwork, but it looks like they're nonprofit, but it looks like they're for-profit. And so then there's licensing fees, and this is thousands of dollars. And that will come back to us indirectly when they levy us in March. So, and construction, of course, they've shut it down, but there is a meeting February 2nd, just for some remaining internal windows to be done. Staffing, we have 10 foreign workers here on contract now, the remainder to arrive at the end of January, and they're actively recruiting a nurse practitioner. And I should add that they still can't fill all their shifts, even with 10 more people working. Operational, they continue working on insurance requirements, need a dry sprinkler system, arc flash, and heat detectors. Community support service, East Home oversees community service, run out of Powassan. The budget came in for 2023. It's under East Home's umbrella, but it's not funded at all by East Home. It's totally government funded and has to be balanced budget. So it has no effect on the townships as far as that goes. As far as contracts and compliance, we've had to revise numerous policies to align with the new Long-Term Care Act, 12 policies in total this month. So I know what you're going through. Government reporting has gone from, and I was wrong, they used to have to do 2 provincial government reports a year. Now they're doing over 200 a year since the pandemic. So they have to report on numerous. They did their tabletop emergency drill, and they have to do an annual evacuation drill with the Powassan Fire Department. But this year they did Nipissing in as well, and Chief Bateman was there, and that was on December 20th. And ministry was in for an inspection, but they haven't given us a report as of yet. And nurses and unionized staff, and when we looked at contracts last time, nurses and unionized staff got a 2% increase, which was retroactive to the last pay period going forward into 2023. And for year-end and budgeting requirements, East Home's next meeting is January 25th. And again, no building committees till February and no pines until Mr. Britton gets back to me. So that's all the committee reports. So any questions? Okay, we'll go to number 3. And you've all received the minutes. So this is a resolution to adopt the minutes from December 20th. I need a mover and a seconder. I'll go to that side with Councillor Kirky and Councillor Butler. So it's number R 2023-001. So this is the first resolution of this year, moved by Councillor Kirby, seconded by Councillor Butler, that the minutes of the council meeting held on December 20th, 2022 be adopted as published. All in favor? Carried. And again, if you ever have any questions about your package when you receive it or anything like that, we can get them out early just so you can call in the office and see if there's anything that you'd like to discuss. So we move on to number 4, approval in principle of Doug Dickinson. And we all have received information on that. And I know we were all at candidates night when people spoke to us about, quote, the jewel of Lake Nipissing and their perception of selling it. Now, you received a background and overview. Here, and basically the summary. And I think we've all gone over it. We looked at this at the last meeting. And there is a resolution in front of you. Is there any questions on the recommendation? And I know you have received a number of calls, or we have. The one thing when we look later on in our sale and disposition of municipal property, we looked at the first 250 that comes in as non-refundable. But in this case, if we decide to go with our recommendation, then I think we should refund the $250 in good faith before they go into any further expenses. So is there anything you want to discuss, any questions? Because John Paul's here and Mr. Goodrich is here as well. If you have questions you would like to ask. Because if not, I know there is a resolution to be looked at. So any comments or questions? If not, I'm going to ask for a mover and seconder.
Could I clarify one thing? I know I'm not really allowed to speak at this point, but could I just clarify that this is not basically a no answer, it's just a withdrawal? And if my clients wish to come back and apply with the revised application just for the shore road allowance, that it would still be at least considered, and we would have, because we have a number of new faces at the council chamber, so you've really only heard one side of the story coming from the public. You haven't heard anything from my clients. They haven't had an opportunity to speak. I haven't had an opportunity to speak to the new people. And
I did circulate your original proposal with all of this, so they received your original.
right, but they've also heard from a lot of people just verbally as well, and whether or not everyone's aware that there really is no access to the section of the road allowance that we're talking about. And my clients have tried to work out licensing arrangements. They do have one outfitter signed up right now to still use the existing. And and they tried to,
They've signed this operator up. They're just allowing him to come across their property
correct.
at no cost.
No, there was the operator actually offered to pay it and to cover their insurance costs. And my clients made the same offer here as well, to be able to license the municipality to use it for the operators and the public. They're trying to work together with you. We thought the original proposal was a good win-win-win for everybody. But I think some of the public is just not clear as to what the actual situation is on the ground. They think they have a right to use this land. And maybe once the fences are up and the public realizes they don't have the access to it that they thought they did, maybe there won't be as much opposition when it does get brought back.
Well, the resolution in front of us today is just that we rescind our 2022 153. Of course, the option is always there to put in again if they would like to apply to buy the Lakeshore Road allowance. And I think that we have that in our recommendation, that is an option for the future. So I'm going to ask for a mover and a seconder now on this one. I have Councillor Kirky and Councillor Young. And it's number R 2023-002, moved by Councillor Kirky, seconded by Councillor Young, that we rescind R 2022-153, passed August 16, 2022, approving in principle the application of Andrea Dickinson and Tracy Duggan by Paul Goodrich agent on behalf of owners to purchase the Shore Road allowance located in front of Park Broken Lot 11, Concession 19, Township of Nipissing, and we authorize the refund of the $250 application fee to the applicants. All in favor? Carried. And I thank you for your input, Mr. Goodrich, and always welcome them to apply again. And we'll move on to number 5. And I think this is what we talked about before. This is in relation to Armour Township and Bill C-21 on basically banning of guns and handguns. And we're saying that the council supports the request that the federal government review. So to support the motion from the Township of Armour, and have the federal government review the far-reaching effects of Bill C-21 and develop effective approaches. So I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Butler had brought this up originally. A seconder, Councillor Foote. So it's number R 2023-003, moved by Councillor Butler, seconded by Councillor Foote. Whereas council received motion number 15 from the Corporation of the Township of Armour during the meeting held December 20th, 2022. Now therefore, council supports the request to have the federal government review the far-reaching effects of Bill C-21 and develop effective approaches to target gun violence and non-legal firearms in Canada. All in favor? Carried. Okay, I had 2 different agendas, so bear with me. Number 6, approving principal Shore Road application. You'll notice in here it's $15 per frontage foot. We're We've changed that, but we have to change that on what we're passing today as well. And this was also put in prior to that. This was in, pardon?
Several years.
Yeah, this was in several years ago with through Hunter's Bay Marine, and that's why I wanted to explain why it's $15 a foot, where it's $25 a foot now. So, and this was already through everything that we've done. John Paul's looked over, plans looked over. There's no issues. The only problem is now it's going to Tanner Hinks. Instead, it was Ron Hinks. So it's still family, just the transfer. So any comments or questions? Okay, so a mover. Okay, Councilor Butler. Councilor Yem, and I will read the conditions. So it's number R 2023-004, moved by Councilor Butler, seconded by Councilor Yem. Be it resolved that this council does approve in principle the application of Tanner Hinks to purchase shore road lands located in front of Heartbroken Lot 11, concession 16, plan M467. Parts B and C and point, part Douglas Drive closed, RP 42R19757, parts 1 to 4, Township of Nipissing. That this resolution replaces resolution 2017-046, original applicant Ronald Hinks, and the application will proceed with original requests under the original cost of $15 per frontage foot. That this resolution is subject to the following conditions. The council shall select an independent search firm specializing in fishery issues and environmental issues to complete an independent investigation and report to determine the geographic limits where development could occur and to ensure compliance to the provincial policy statement. That the applicant will be responsible for the payment of all the municipality's administrative, legal accounts, and environmental impact study costs in connection with the processing of this application, and that in accordance with the municipality's policy, notice and a copy of the draft plan will be mailed to the adjacent owners. Any comments or questions? All in favor? There.
That file had actually moved to the public notification stage, so it will be in the next council agenda. It's for procedure for that.
Okay, next one. Oh, good evening, Mr. Goodrich.
Yep.
Watch
Happy
the
New Year,
deer.
everyone.
And this is again for Mayor McIsaac to go on the BSAB board, and Mr. McIsaac has been in England, but so now we're going to catch up and support him on that. So just a mover and a seconder, and he will join Mike Dell from Calendar as our DSAB representatives. So Councilor Butler and Councilor Curtin. It's number R 2023-005, moved by Councilor Butler, seconded by Councilor Kirky, that we support the nomination of Mayor Peter McIsaac, Municipality of Blossom, as representative to the Prairie Sound District Social Services Administration Board. All in favor? Carried. Okay, now you've got a new copy of the January newsletter. The changes, and I missed them, were under animal control and different fees this year. And other than that, is there anything else you noticed that may be incorrect, so Kristen can be aware? I didn't see anything, but. And the only difference is now, after first dog, every dog after that's $20 each to get a dog. Any comments, questions? And again, that's why we circulate these ahead of time. So I need a mover into seconder. Okay, Councilor Foot. Councilor Young. Number R 2023-006, moved by Councilor Foot, seconded by Councilor Young, that we approve the January 2023 newsletter for circulation as presented. All in favor? Carried.
Oh, done, that looks really good. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kristen does a great
Yeah.
job on it.
yeah, get it,
Thank you.
get in.
And I mean, it looks so good. I really hope people can read it, you know, because I know, again, you go back to candidates night when they had that. And then it was, well, we didn't know, you know, it was all there, you know, so it's, every taxpayer has it, it's in their tax bill, and I know they all like getting their tax bill, so anyway, let's hope they read it. Now, the next one, and the office staff, Chris, include the old resolution, or the old bylaws and the new. And the first one was being a bylaw to adopt an administrative policy for accountability and transparency. The old one was 2 little paragraphs. And we all know how accountable we have to be now, transparent, as we're on the TV right now being watched by a few people in TV land. So, so I read it, I read the old one. Is there any questions? And we've used other ones, and this goes all over everything from council procedural bylaw to election procedures and everything in between. These are just the blueprints we have to follow as a council. So if there are no comments or questions, I'll ask for a mover in a second. Councilor Butler, and Councilor Foot. So it's number R 2023-007, moved by Councilor Butler, seconded by Councilor Foot, that we passed bylaw number 2023-01, being a bylaw to adopt an administrative policy to ensure accountability and transparency in the corporation of the Township of Nipissing for a first, second, and third time and passed this third day of January 2023. All in favor? Carried. And all of this is on record. If should you ever choose to want to look at any of these documents, and that's for us and for the public as well. And on the website, but as Councilor Kirk pointed out, I'll never see it there because I'm not that computer literate. So,
If anybody ever comes to our office, and needs to make the bylaws, we also provide them.
Well, I noticed on the website that it lists some of the bylaws, but then it says some will not be out.
Yes.
okay, so we move on to yes, delegation authority, various operations for the corporation of the Township of Nipissing. And this just, again, covers us in any case that anything that is decided, I can't decide it, so the strong mayor's thing doesn't work in Nipissing, so I can't decide anything. It has to be council and the majority of council and the one councilor or mayor make a decision and then tell the public that this is what we're going to do. And this also goes with committees, and that's why we're highlighting it. So that a committee, and I mean, a committee might want to build a racetrack in Nipissing, that still has to come to council. It's not law till everybody here votes on it. So just to be clear. So again, it was lengthy, the old one was put in,
Because it's one paragraph.
right. Again, thanks to government liability and everything else, now it's pages. So does anybody have any comments or questions on this one? It was a lot of reading after the last meeting, so I need a mover and a seconder then. Councilor Yam and Councilor Kirby. It's number R 2023-008, moved by Councilor Yam, seconded by Councilor Kirby, that we pass bylaw number 2023-02, being a bylaw respecting the delegation of authority to various officers for the corporation of the Township of Nipissing. Read a first, second, and third time and pass this third day of January 2023. All in favor? Carried. Right. And as mentioned in the previous principal shore road allowance, this is to regulate the sale and disposition of municipal property. And the same thing through the definitions, excuse me, general provisions, exclusions, and everything else from road allowances to shore road allowance to recovery of costs. And the costs, now the application tonight, they had submitted their 250, which I pointed out is non-refundable. Just to clear it, we refunded it. We didn't go to 2,500, which is the next section. So there was only 250 spent. And there could be comments that, you know, more money was spent on so survey, right? But anytime you purchase a piece of land, you have to have survey anyway, so that was an expensive.
Survey was needed well before the application.
Yes. So, yes. So this is to regulate the sale and disposition of municipal property. So if there are any comments or questions, and the new rate right now is $25 for frontage foot. Yes,
So when we sell municipal property, as in, you know, the sale taxes.
That's not included in the sale of the disposition of land. But if you look at the actual bylaw, it says that it's not covered, because that's under a completely different legislation.
Okay, because I couldn't find it.
no,
We don't keep that money.
no,
It pays
Well,
federal taxes
I
and then it goes
realize-
to the federal government.
Yes, I realize that one goes to the federal government, so
We
shore
follow
road
their rules.
allowance goes to us, and, okay. I just want to clarify
The
that.
sale of shore road allowance, the actual revenue goes into the parkland savings account. It's delegated by the credit.
yeah, so we couldn't give it to any particular, it's parkland. That's the account it goes into.
I got that, but I just didn't understand why
Yeah, another one,
the other one had to go to the feds, and we couldn't keep it except for our expenses out of it. Which,
We used to.
yeah, I know, and that's still a sore spot with me. Since it's 10 of it.
No, I didn't want to change the rules.
yeah. You can ask, but you're not gonna get it.
We
But,
did once. We did 2 years ago. That's not- They changed all the rules. Oh, this tax office.
Yeah, because when you look at something like this, and you've already taken out that other. Come on here.
Yeah.
Okay, I got
It's
it.
not included in this.
Okay, I got it.
Good question. I was in earlier, so I could ask those questions. Okay, so I need a mover and a seconder. Councilor Perkins and Councilor Young. Number R 2023-009, moved by Councilor Perkins, seconded by Councilor Young, that we pass bylaw number 2023-03, being a bylaw to regulate the sale and disposition of municipal property. Read a first, second, and third time and passed this third day of January 2023. All in favor? Carried. Okay. Moving along. Okay, so next one is being a bylaw to enter an agreement for municipal facilities maintenance contract for the Township of Nipissing. Just to clarify, because these were questions I asked this morning. This is a contract. So there's no deductions. There are no benefits. It's just strictly a contract. The raise they're looking at is 50 cents an hour. And this hasn't increased in a decade. So that's what we're looking at. And then there are a few added areas that have been added since the original, as in not only the office, but the community center, the center downstairs. And the other thing is, this is only 80 hours a month. And with that 80 hours, right now they're cleaning once a week because of COVID, every day. So that's going to change. So it will go down to weekly or daily.
I think it's going to every 3 days.
Okay.
I'm not sure what it should be. Yeah, we've talked about it.
Okay,
You probably be
We're going to use it.
80 hours a month,
pardon?
it'd be 20 hours a week.
Yeah. So 80 hours a month, and that may go down though, if we quit cleaning downstairs every day. But because of COVID protocols, we were supposed to be doing it. So if we're done COVID now, that will go down a bit. And we have to talk it over at rec committee as well. And I must admit, well, you can tell just look at me, I haven't been in the fitness center in a number of years, so I couldn't tell you what the state of cleanliness is down there. I know the bathroom in there is pretty clean, so that's good. So, any comments or questions about this? And I need a mover and a second. Councilor Butler and Councilor Foote, thank you. So it's number R 2023-010, moved by Councilor Butler, seconded by Councilor Foote, that we pass bylaw number 2023-04, being a bylaw to enter into an agreement for a municipal facilities maintenance contract for the Township of Nipissing, read a first, second, and third time, and pass this third day of January 2023. All in favor? Carried. Okay, next one, and this is, I'm gonna call it bookkeeping. We talked about the borrowing at our last meeting. if anything catastrophic happens. Now because we do not have a budget yet, and we're just starting to look at, well, we've been looking at things we need in the budget, we come up with an interim tax levy. What the interim tax levy is, just half of what it was last year. So the whole year, this will be the half. And then if our budget increases, if it increases, then the second half will be large to pick up the extra money that's come because of budget increases. But again, no budget yet. So, and this will go out with the newsletter, and the tax bills will be in that, and these are the taxes that are due March 31st. So start saving up. So any comments or questions on this? Okay, I need a mover and second, Councillor Butler and Councillor Young. So it's number R2023-011, moved by Councillor Butler, seconded by Councillor Young, that we pass bylaw number 2023-05, being a bylaw to provide for an interim tax levy read a first, second, and third time and pass this third day of January 2023. All in favor? Okay, correspondence. This was a little, I mean, everybody is shut down. Except maybe us.
I received 8 email correspondence within the last hour. So next correspondence will be a bit heavier.
The first one is just, and we have, again, all you get is mentioned. We have made donations to Crime Stoppers when they've asked for money, but we've never declared a Crime Stoppers month. We've never declared any months from the township perspective because Chris will bring 2 or 3 to us a month, but there are dozens that are circulated provincially and nationally, from Save the Owls to Peanut Butter Month to whatever. So traditionally, we've just stayed out of it and haven't declared March Peanut Butter Month for that reason. So I look at this as an information item. So Nipissing Township may not be on the Crime Stoppers thing saying that we supported it, just our name just won't necessarily be there. The Golden Sunshine Municipal Nonprofit Housing Corporation, I talked about that meeting a month ago. They're just getting caught up in minutes. And I mean, it was so much fun the first time, I don't want to put through it again. And the other information item from AMO, and it's interesting, this is over Bill 23, which is basically the Housing Supply Action Plan, building thousands of houses and whatever. Why this has come out now is for cities that have development charges, they're going to have to refund money, which is going to have a major effect on their budgets. In our case, we have no refunding requirements because we don't do this. We don't charge development fees. Then the second part of this is budget should look at the effect of the bill in the future because you're going to lose development fees. Again, we don't have it. So for our point of view, the new bill information has nothing to do with Nipissing Township. So we're lucky because, like I say, big municipalities are losing millions of dollars. So are there any questions on the correspondence? Everybody's going to get back into the loop. We'll get a bunch next time, but not this time. So I need a mover and a seconder, Councillor Butler and Councillor Berkey. It's number R 2023-012, moved by Councillor Butler, seconded by Councillor Turkey, that we accept the correspondence as presented. All in favor? Next, the accounts. And they came out late because it's Christmas, holidays. You look over it, one thing I'll mention, CBO, other expenses, 5695. The number of building permits this year was, what would you say, 10 times?
Yeah. Well,
At least that, so there was more costs incurred. Cameron was out, and he also took a course, a couple of courses with new building permit regulations. So we paid for the courses, so that's part of it. The other thing, PW professional development, farther 6105. That was a level of service course. And we paid out 6105. We got back over 6 from revenue from the other townships that participated. So it was closer to $100.
Is that the one in Berkeley?
So this is one that we brought in for public works from the good roads.
Oh, I
Levels of
see.
service.
Yeah.
And so we hosted it here at the community center and we invited municipalities all around.
On the fitness center, $1,300. We had a heater go down in the basement that had to be replaced. So that's higher than it normally would be. And then the only other thing, if you look at it and talked about this at our last meeting, our computer software town suite,
Mhm.
they charged us. Now we have a $12,000 credit, but these are just outgoing. So it shows what we're spending, but it doesn't show the credit back in. So that is 12,000 different than what it shows there. But if those are the ones, now you may have other things that interest you, please ask if you do, and Chris will answer.
Well, did we get the HSD and GSD rebate done?
No, because we haven't closed off the year for 2022. I always submit it for our year ended December 31st to make sure we get all of our expenses.
Oh.
Happen in 2 weeks. The audit starts in 3.
Oh,
And the interesting thing is, talking to some of the municipalities around here, we start our audit and our budget about 2 to 3 months before they do. Okay, they're looking at it. Some of them are going to be passing their budget in June. And ours will be done months before that, you know.
As soon as we have all of the revenue reports, usually.
Chris says that and looks at me because Easton was one of the last ones bring in their levy requirements, but and every year I do ask that they move it up, but it doesn't happen. So
I'm hoping that within the next month, the levy and the library.
will be 2 months, right? And we have a general meeting in March. So that's why ours, but that's levy requirements in the whole budget, but we can look at, separate things to our own budget way in advance of that.
We usually take an estimate around when we have all the capital funding, so we just finish off most of it.
And our OPP levy is going to be less this year than that.
It's a little less, and
And impact as well.
Oh, in fact, as well, okay.
EMS is up, and we already have their,
Well, we have the amount of the goal. So there's still a way of assessment.
right,
Did they, itemite anything for it?
That's something we work on.
Councillor Cook is now appointed to the MS one.
Congratulations.
So is there any question on the accounts? Because those are just the ones that jump out at me. There might be other things that are of interest to you.
Oh, no, I did, all my questions. Yeah.
Okay. So I need a mover and a seconder. Okay. Go. Councilor Young and Councilor Pearson. So this is R 2023-013, moved by Councilor Young, seconded by Councilor Kirby. A statement of accounts dated December 23rd, 2022, and January 2nd, 2023, totaling $188,042.17 be approved. All in favor? Carried. Okay, now before we get to confirming bylaws, I just, I know I've spent some time with a number of you on the phone or in the car discussing things, this in the last week, whatever. And I just want to point out that tomorrow I'm speaking to our neighboring municipality to, what is it, to the east of us. We're talking to Quasin tomorrow because we need to we've got our road agreement with calendars signed, sealed, and delivered. And now we need to get Quasin, and we've already reached out to them on 2 occasions.
December 13th.
So on 2 occasions, and we have yet to receive anything back. So, yes, it's
For spring, we would like to put the meeting on.
to March. And that's no good. So I'll be talking to Mayor tomorrow, Thursday at the latest. He was in London, I believe he's back, but I'm not sure. And they should be having a council meeting tonight, so I'm talking to him because we have projects that we need them to work with us on. And we're ready to go. We just need their supports. We've got a verbal support from the past. Their council is virtually unchanged, so I don't see why that support shouldn't still be there. We just need to get together and have a meeting, and we're going to try to do that with Chris, Dan, and I at our earliest convenience would be Thursday. But we know that they're not going to move that quickly, but we're ready. And I want you to know that because I know you spent time talking to people the weekend, and we're looking into it, and we've already looked at our budget streams, and we're ready to go. So we need to talk to them. Any questions?
March would be too late for RFPs to vote.
Well, we want to make sure that we have a commitment so we can move forward with our capital budget.
Okay.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
that's too late, we can get it going, I don't want to wait. So I will have something to tell you in 2 weeks or sooner, So I just wanted to make sure you were aware. So this is a confirming bylaw to confirm everything that we have passed tonight. And I need a mover and a seconder. Councilor Young. Councilor Butler. It's number R 2023-014, moved Councilor Young, seconded by Councilor Butler, that we pass bylaw number 2023-06, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at its meeting held on January 3rd, 2023, read the first, second, and third time, and passed this 3rd day of January 2023. All in favor? Carried. And because we did all our reading and had everything, 50 odd pages done ahead of time, it cuts down a lot of reading time wasted in council. So if there are no other comments or questions, I need a mover and seconder. Councilor Foot. Councilor Butler. It's number R 2023-015, moved by Councilor Foot, seconded by Councilor Pratt. That the meeting be adjourned at 7:18 p.m. Next regular meeting to be held January 17th, 2023. And we were to remind you that,
We have the fire essentials training on January the 11th.
so next Wednesday,
9 o'clock, right?
9 o'clock,
Yeah.
right here.
Yes.
Well, I think before I forget, any idea when the next rec meeting is?
Monday. Next
Okay.
Monday.
We only have 22